Evening. So today on Jeremy's cooking show, I am going to make a sauteed shrimp dish, which could be a tapa, it could be an appetizer, or it could be a course and a multi-course dinner. So a little background on this particular dish. It's close but not quite the same thing as a sauteed shrimp and lemon dish that my uncle made when I was growing up. That had some nice lemon, butter, shrimp, very, very good, lots of garlic, very delicious. This is a little bit different. It's not quite as garlicky because I'm using shallots instead of garlic, and I'm going to make it a little more healthy. So I'm going to actually use olive oil instead of the butter. So that way there's a lot less saturated fat, things like that. So first thing I'm going to do is turn up the heat. Now I'm going to grab a knife so I can start dicing up some of the shallots. Toss the olive oil into the pan. And later on, not today, but soon, I'm going to be posting these on my website. And then walking through some more precise directions for how to make each of the dishes, recipes, things like that. Because what I've realized watching my own videos is nobody wants to get a recipe from a video. But it's a nice thing to be able to validate that the recipe is good by watching the video. So I think that both in combination would be a really nice thing. I know for me, if I was shopping for something to cook, I would want both, and I'd probably just fast forward the video unless it was really entertaining, which I hope these are in some small way. So if you have any ideas you want to let me know, I'd appreciate it. And of course, there's like 5 people that watch these. So, and you've all got my number. Hi, Mom. So you see, the first thing I'm doing here is obviously dicing up the shallots. So I got the idea to use this because a friend of mine was saying that I cook with too much garlic, and because I do use onion as well, a whole lot in my cooking. I thought, you know, let me give something else a little bit of a try. And shallots are nice, oniony, garlicky, kind of a mix of the two, and they finish up a little bit sweet. And not quite as pungent as an onion, so it's a good thing. So I'm going to dice a bunch of these. Let's do big pieces here. So the trick with this dish, because I'm using, and you'll notice here in a second if you can see already, the shrimp is cooked. So the goal is to get the kind of pan sauce, together first. Then we throw in the shrimp just to coat it with the pan sauce and then serve it in a nice way, which I'll show that in a minute as well. One thing that I realized when I made this for a friend last week was that the presentation when you just slap the shrimp dish on a plate, not that exciting. So I came up with an idea, which I'm going to beta test for the video and see what you think. Because I like it when the food tastes good and looks good, and doesn't have any stuff that shouldn't be in there. Okay, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to toss some of this, clean up a little bit as I work. So the last thing I want to do is have a huge messy kitchen at the end of show. Alright, so dance lessons 1, 2, just kidding. Next thing I'm going to do with the onion, shallot, looks like onion, and the oil is throw in the lemon. Alright. Obviously this isn't going to really blend well, right? So, I'm going to do one of these this time. It's a little bit different than last time. It's kind of a fun way to do it. Also, I think presentation-wise, this will come out more interesting than the way I did it last time, which I'm not going to bother going through the details. So you see this? Bam, 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 bam. All right. A little more oil because we're actually not going to eat most of the sauce. That's mostly there for the shrimp to kind of soak in. It's a nice flavor. Okay, you see this? That just looks pretty. And trust me, when you smell that combination of the lemon with the olive oil and the shallots, it's just good. Okay, so now I'm going to go rinse off my shrimp. Colander's in here. Okay. Shrimp. Let's see, they say bombs away, shrimp ahoy. I don't know. Is there a good, appropriate expression on shrimp? Right. So obviously it's just for me, I'm not making a whole lot. This is 2/3 of a pound, and I plan on having some leftovers. Because, you know, I want to cook a little extra, that way tomorrow, when I'm not doing a cooking show, I have some food. And it saves me time. So, I'm going to set this over here. Got this browning nicely. I'm going to go ahead and flip these lemons. So I don't want anything burning in the pan before I get a chance to throw the shrimp in there. So everything nice and hot. Yeah, there's something to be said for these flavors. Alright, so shrimp, pan, need I say more? Towel. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is spread the sauce around, get this going, so that the shrimp kind of get covered and coated with the oil and the shallots. Now, because I don't want anything to dry out too much, find a lid that's way too small. But here's a tip: if you ever find yourself in need of a lid and you don't have one, but you got a pot or a pan of the same size, well, you can cheat. Grab another skillet like this, so that things don't dry out too much. Voila. Okay, while that's cooking, let's see. And tell a joke. That wasn't an actual joke. I couldn't think of one, so I just broke out in some random dancing. Let's see. I'm going to give this another few seconds, then I'm going to start stirring it around. Yeah. You know, if I was crude, I could say I was playing with my balls just now, but that would be crude. So I won't say that. Because, you know, my kids might watch this. And they need to understand that, you know, those are tennis balls. Oh yeah. This is smelling just about right. The shrimp is definitely heating up nicely. So, given that, I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to call it ready as soon as I get the rest of the preparation done. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a plate. A nice one so you can see how it looks all nice. Just in case you're serving this for a friend or a guest, or if you just like to eat food that looks nice on a plate. This is the plot for the evening. So, I have got green chard, it's right here. And what's nice about green chard is it comes in these very big, green, pretty leaves. So, yes, you can eat it. Yes, it's a vegetable. But, in this case, I was just after its looks. It's kind of like dating. Sometimes you're just after somebody for their looks. No, I'm just kidding. It's bad. You want what's on the inside. In this case, the nice, healthy, hearty flavor of the green chard. Actually, no, in this case, I just want the green chard for its looks. Grab some paper towels. There we go. Pat this thing dry a little bit. All right. Now, this is a first for me, so if it turns out badly, I might not actually post this. Nah, I'm just kidding. I've posted all my videos before, so far. So, you know, if it does turn out badly, hey, well, I tried. All right, so you see that nice, yeah, that actually looks pretty cool. So, to make it a little better, you can go ahead and chop off the end of the stem here. Then I'm gonna kind of decorate the leaf a little, there we go. I'm actually gonna cut off the end as well, so it fits in the plate better. Okay, now, if you're doing this for an appetizer or a course or whatnot, you use a smaller plate, smaller leaf. But in this case, you know, just for show, I'm doing this as kind of a, you know, a pick your own appetizer type thing. And then I'll show, you know, you just, you know, give people forks and let them have at it. Kind of like chips and dip, but this is shrimp and shallots. Right. Got a little lemon in there, which is fine. People can eat it if they want. It's just going to be, you know, lemony and bitter. Trying to get all of it out, that way you can see how the whole dish looks together. And also because then it can start cleaning the pan earlier after the show. Alright. Make sure it doesn't fall. So you notice that I'm actually being, you know, kind of sloppy with the getting all the shallots out of here. The important thing, their job was to cook with the lemon and the olive oil, which they did nicely. So you don't really need to serve those with the shrimp. And then, you know, depending on how you want to fuss over the presentation, you know, this is how things might look. Not bad, right? I actually think the colors are beautiful this way. Even though you're not really aiming at eating the chard in this particular dish, the green, the orange, the yellow, everything plays really nicely together. So it looks a whole lot more appetizing than, say for example, you just plop it onto the plate, then you have the orange, you've got the yellow, you don't have any really good contrasting colors, so it's a lot less interesting and appealing. But the real test is the food good? Because if the food sucks, it doesn't matter how good it looked, right? Let's try it out. Nice. So it's not a heavy flavor because, you know, this is very lightly seasoned. You get the lemon, you get the shallots, you get the olive oil, and that's pretty much it. So the shrimp really shines through. And then that lemony tang with the normal briny, shrimpy flavor. It's just a really good combination. Of course, if you want to do this with a little more pop, a couple of suggestions. Use butter instead of the olive oil. Number two, throw some spice in it, throw some heat. Because almost anything is good with a little bit of heat. Some cayenne pepper is one idea, some jalapenos, or some habanero. Habanero from a look perspective would be better, but you gotta be careful because that's pretty spicy. Well, 10-minute appetizer, shrimp and shallots with lemon, served over a nice green chard leaf. It looks good, tastes good, healthier than the childhood alternative that I grew up with, and I'm sure everybody would be happy to chow down on this. What you want to do is just give people a fork, or you could take the time and effort to poke through with a bunch of toothpicks, so you can then serve this as kind of a party tray if you want for the holidays. Fantastic. Happy eating.